So first, dealing with PTSD happens before the incident occurs. The people that deal with, we're talking about stress, external stress. The people that deal with serious stressful situations are and deal with them well are very healthy, functional people, like interpersonal skills developed, educated, um, exercise, good diet, not alcoholics, not diabetics, not obese. And so when we have to go and see these horrific things, we have a lot of coping mechanisms that are already highly developed, and we're able to do that. But if you take a National Guardsman that is overweight, that works a part-time job as an air condition repairman, and he's over in Iraq driving a truck, and he hits an IED, and the dude next to him pretty much vaporizes and turns to mist, and he's covered with his own, crap and maybe some of that cerebral spinal fluid. Like that guy's gonna have a really difficult time dealing with that situation if he survives it, because he's gonna pretty much be like lizard brain for the next 2 days until things start functioning highly. And whereas like I'm driving the truck, graduate, educated guy, highly functional, interpersonal development, very healthy. I eat clean, don't drink, don't smoke, don't do drugs. And like, yeah, it sucks. Like my friend just died, but the healthy way that I'm going to deal with that, like how I'm going to mourn, is going to be way, way better. So then bad thing happens. What do you do? Well, one, everything about postponing pain doesn't postpone it. It actually delays it to make it worse. Like the onset of something bad, the longer that is offset, the more it just keeps building and building. So having people you can talk to, I think that healing is way easier with sweat. Like the more you sweat, the less you bleed. And then afterwards, the more you sweat, the faster you heal. And so that's a lot of exercise. That's a lot of clean living. I heard a bunch of women and children in Afghanistan. A terrorist, a foreign fighter, took a PKM machine gun, stuck it out a window, and started shooting at my friend Mike Goebel and I. And I mean, the door that we were standing in front of just was being shredded with 7.62 x 5.4, traveling at 2,900 feet per second, just destroying this door that we are standing at. And how we didn't die, I don't know. So we like kick open the door, and I see this machine gun still just hammering us, and I chuck a grenade through that window where that machine gun was. And of course, this asshole has barricaded women and children around him. And like the regret and pain that nightmares and really normal. You said yourself, somebody that doesn't come out of that unchanged is not a healthy person. Like I came out of that situation very, very changed, and hurt. I drank to try to dilute it, and all it did was postpone it. And so like I'm speaking not from my high castle. I'm speaking from experience, firsthand experience, that the only way to deal with problems are turn and face them. The longer you wait, the longer you dilute, the longer you postpone, the worse they're going to be. So, finding somebody you can talk to, working out, living clean, that is a recipe for success.
Yeah, it's a really interesting perspective, because I've asked several people about their thoughts on this subject, and no one has ever said it starts before the incident, and it makes so much sense. But I've never heard anyone say that before, and I think when you look at quote unquote regular civilians who will sometimes put their head in the sand and say, well, I can't possibly prepare for that because who knows if I'm ever going to be involved in an incident that's going to, well, you can still prepare for it.
Absolutely.
You can still be healthy. You can still look after your own mental health. You can still look after your own coping mechanisms about when you have a bill you weren't expecting. Like you can still practice this.
Yeah, I mean, with COVID right now, you're seeing the spike in suicides and spike in depressions, and you're going to see, and you see a ton of antidepressants being prescribed right now, high divorce rates, high domestic violence rates. Like what I see is a bunch of people that had been failing at life before. They were failing when that stress hit, and like, can you prepare for a pandemic? Yeah, yes, you can. Like, can you prepare for losing your job? Yes. Can you prepare for maybe not being able to go buy groceries or toilet paper? Yes. Those are all things like you don't know, you can't prepare for everything. And if you're living your life in fear, that is even worse than not being able to respond in a healthy way to the problem that's at hand. But being a high functioning person that you can adapt, your ability to adapt is really comes down to the training that you've put into yourself. Like you could ask all of my friends, that are pretty similar to me, from Justin and Theo and Dennis and Matt and Jeff. They're like, how was home life during, locked in for a few months? They're like, it was fine. I got a lot of projects done. I got a lot of work done. Got, like in my case, I got to, get halfway through writing my book. Was able to prepare for launching a new company. Like inversely, go to talk to somebody else and they're like, oh, I hate my kids, I've been trying to work from home and I regretfully had to beat him a couple of times and I hit him one time in the face. I was like, you're a really bad person. I don't know if you know this, and what we're seeing right now is just an opportunity for how unhealthy you were as a person to be demonstrated.